We turn now to the report of the Church of Scotland Guild, and I welcome the convener, Christina Patterson.
Christina Patterson, 326. Moderator. It is my great pleasure to present the report of the Church of Scotland Guild for 2025. When I was given the honour of becoming the Guild's national convener, the focus of my year was unity. Unity of purpose and unity as fellow members of the family of God. In my years as a national vice-convener, I had become concerned that some guilds were becoming quite insular and not engaging as they had in the past with regional or national events, partly as a result of the pandemic. I felt some had lost sight of the impact guilds can have when they work together as part of a national movement. I am delighted to be able to share with the Assembly that over the past 3 years, the Guild has raised an amazing £553,000 for our 6 project partnerships. Thank you. This has provided a strong foundation for these life-changing projects. This has been a year of challenge and transition, but also a year of many unforgettable experiences. In the light of presbytery reform and decisions taken by our National Council, 18 newly reconstructed Guilds Together groups will come into operation on the 1st of June this year, bringing opportunities for renewal, for wider networking, building on successful practice and extended fellowship. To enable constant regeneration, we have brought to the Assembly a constitutional amendment that would see the term of office on our National Council limited to 3 years, and we hope that Commissioners will support this change. Although this does not affect the working of local guilds, it is yet another change, often a difficult process. Church unions and closures have had a significant impact on our membership, and, as in many organisations, age, distance and transport can be challenging. However, the Guild remains positive that it will be able to overcome these challenges and continue to be a pioneer of the faith at home and across the world, as it has been for the past 138 years. September 2024 saw the Guild embarking on a new 3-year strategy, Let Us Build a House. This first year, our theme being Sure Foundations. The sure foundations laid down for the Guild in 1887 have furnished us with confidence and ability to raise awareness of and address many contentious issues, to stand with the oppressed and marginalised, to rise to the challenges of an ever-evolving society, and to embrace changes necessary for our continued existence. The launch of Let Us Build a House took place at the annual gathering, along with the introduction of 4 exciting new project partnerships, all of which sit very comfortably within this strategy. In Upper Egypt, we will work with Release International as part of Operation Hope in building better lives for persecuted Christians through practical, pastoral and psychological support. Our partnership with the Scottish Bible Society enables us to help build God's kingdom through Bibles for Bairns, doing just that, providing Bibles and related fun activities for babies and children in Scotland, enabling families to read together the transformative stories of faith. We will be working again with our close friends in Crossreach. Their project, Playful Beginnings, is building family relationships and laying strong foundations for vulnerable children and their families in Govan Hill, as well as providing perinatal counselling services in Edinburgh, Glasgow, Moray, and Inverness. Finally, we are working with the small charity Bare Necessities to build my church in Bulgaria, planting a church and community hub in the city of Sliven. It was a joy to visit this project in March, seeing where it had begun and meeting the pastor and team. Their passion and commitment is inspiring. And just as the Guild helped build a church in Barlanark in the 1950s, what a privilege it is to be demonstrating faith in action by helping to build a church and centre which will feed body, mind and soul. Since January, over £50,000 has been raised for these 4 projects. To say that the 2024 annual gathering was a joyous and unforgettable experience is an understatement. 5 Guild members from Malawi, part of our long-standing Guild partnership with the Synod of Livingstonia, joined us on the day as part of their 2-week visit to Scotland. And we are grateful for the support from FaithShare, which enabled this visit to take place. The gathering opened with Holy Communion Malawi style, accompanied by our guests singing a hymn in their native language. The elements were ceremoniously carried into this hall, led by the moderator, the Very Reverend Dr. Shaw Patterson. This was a truly spiritual experience, which was followed by a day of worship, praise, and rejoicing. Our relationships with the Guild in Malawi are based on practical and prayerful support. This year, we have purchased fields, allowing our Guild sisters to generate income by growing fruit trees and crops for local consumption and also for sale at market. A small group of us are looking forward to the forthcoming visit to Malawi, where we will experience firsthand the progress of these ventures, attend the Women's Guild Conference, and celebrate the 150th anniversary of the church at Livingstonia. The big things at Christmas and the General Assembly are always inspirational and uplifting events, as I am sure those of you who joined us last night will agree. And the £1,200 raised last night will be used to support sports evangelism in Malawi. 27 members from all over the country came to the Guild weekend. As well as participating in worship and fellowship, the weekend provides an excellent opportunity for networking across the whole country. Part of a rolling programme, successful mini-gatherings featuring excellent presentations by all 4 project partners have taken place across the length and breadth of the country. Thanks to a generous donation from an Ayrshire Guild, 7 young people from across Scotland were able to come together in person for the first time as part of LIFT, our Young Adults Guild. The insightful sessions, led by Phil Maelstrom, the church's Worship Development Officer, enabled them to explore how they might provide a safe, ecumenical space in which to develop their faith and connect with each other. They were encouraged to focus on the words of the Reverend Charteris, our founder. It is they who dream bright dreams that in the end deliver. Do not be afraid or ashamed to announce splendid hopes. It is enthusiasts the world needs, and I pray you to be enthusiastic. They are dreaming. They are hoping. They are enthusiastic. Further events are planned over the course of the year, and we hope that you, our youth delegates, will be encouraged to get involved, and your presbyteries will do all that they can to support you young adults in developing Lift into a place where you can grow as young Christians. I know the Guild will do its part. The Guild's level of engagement within communities is extensive and continues to be at the core of many voluntary groups, churches and local initiatives. Indeed, it would be a challenge to find any groups without a Guild member lending a hand. As we will soon move from the theme of sure foundations into that of the living stones, the second year of our strategy, we Guild members are eternally grateful for the sure foundations laid down by our Lord and Saviour, built upon by our founder, cemented by members past and present, and carried forward by those who will continue to be the living stones in the future. Moderator, the Guild has always been at the forefront of developments, and today we bring, as a one-off, the General Assembly's first AI-generated song.
We gather at tables, we welcome with grace, sharing our stories, we make sacred space. Young and old, we stand side by side, carrying hope through the hardest of times. They said we were slowing, they said we were done, but look at these projects, look at what's begun. We are the Guild, still rising, still strong, rooted in faith where all voices belong. Sowing the seeds, walking the miles, holding the world with courage and smiles. We are the Guild, our hands and our hearts, serving in love, doing our part, still lifting the broken, still sharing the load. We are the Guild, on the Spirit's road. From prayer shawls to playgrounds, from lunch clubs to care, from mission in Egypt to justice right here. We partner with passion, we rise when we fall, and when someone's missing, we notice it all. We may not be famous, but we're faithful and kind, and God's gentle kingdom is what we will find. We are the Guild, still rising, still strong, rooted in faith where all voices belong. Sowing the seeds, walking the miles, holding the world with courage and smiles. We are the Guild, our hands and our hearts, serving in love, doing our part, still lifting the broken, still sharing the load. We are the Guild, on the Spirit's road. Whose we are and who we serve is more than a motto, it's how we live and love. Each friendship, each prayer, each tear that we share is part of God's justice from heaven above. We are the Guild, still dreaming, still true, with Bibles for bears and bold visions too. In churches, in kitchens, in streets and in halls, we answer with grace when the needy one calls. We are the Guild, we're not done yet. The story of faith we will never forget. Still lifting the broken, still sharing the load. We are the Guild, on the Spirit's road.
The Guild, ordinary people doing extraordinary things, all to the glory of God, whose we are and whom we serve. Moderator, I move the report in my name.
We need someone to... Your Commissioner? Yes, just someone to second it then.
Seconded.
Convener, thank you very much, and what an amazing song. Sorry, AI is one of these things. It's amazing. but it's also really frightening. But that was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. There are a couple of questions which I'll take now before we turn to the deliverance. So Helen Eckford and Mike Goss.
Moderator, can I preface my question very briefly?
Name and number, sorry.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Helen Eckford, 139.
Thank you.
I wanted to say I am a very active Guild member and absolutely passionate about the work that the Guild does, just so that we know where I'm coming from. But my question to the convener is this. Point 2 of the report talks about changes in the structure of the Guild at presbytery level. These changes are now almost complete. As you said, convener, Guilds together, new groups will be in place next month and in line with the new presbyteries. Change, as we all know, is never easy in the church as a whole, and we know only too well how change can cause uncertainty and concern. Excuse me. I would like to ask the convener, how has the Guild at national level tried to reassure members in local Guilds Together groups about the way forward? And how has the Guild at national level given encouragement, support and reassurance during this process over the last few years, so that every member of the Guild feels that they are part of these changes and have ownership of these changes? Thank you.
Thank you, Helen, for your question. Firstly, can I say that the new structure is important to ensure good governance and the continual renewal of the Guild. The Guild's approach has been a bottom-up approach, consulting with our members and concluding with a national conference which agreed the new structure, and this took place over the past 3 years. The leadership team have spent this past year travelling around the country, meeting Guilds at a series of regional meetings, working with members to set up the new Guilds Together groups. We are available for advice, for help, for anything really to help with that process. While some groups will mirror the new presbytery boundaries, others, where it makes more sense for our membership, will include neighbouring areas, as can be seen in Clyde Guilds Together, which will also include Bute and Cowell. Also, while piloting some Guilds Together areas, we have listened to issues encountered and have been able to act accordingly in amending these. For example, Falkirk Guilds, which originally had been part of Forth Valley and Clydesdale, found that transport links with Stirling were much easier. Therefore, they elected to be part of the Central Guilds Together, which actually includes the Stirling area. As we've been going round the country, we have been encouraging guilds in my theme of unity to come together, and there has been a buzz of excitement and anticipation in all the mini gatherings that we have attended. So I think we have given the encouragement needed, and as you know, guilds are very good at being forward-looking and taking the initiative, and I'm sure it will go well. So thank you, Helen.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you, Moderator. Mike Goss, 285. I'm always in awe at how well informed our Guild members are about the wider work of the church and the projects that they get engaged in. It's such a bigger vision than many of our members actually have unless they belong to the Guild. So thank you for all of that. And it's a delight when we have our Guild dedications to be able to put up the various projects each year to see how they're being supported and to say something about them to the whole congregation. It means I usually rake around different websites looking for images I can use for those projects. I noticed them up there in your opening as we share together. Would it be possible to share those images with the congregations, with ministers, so that we can use them in things like Guild dedications?
Certainly. It would be. And could I just say on that the Bible's Forbearance Project, could I please appeal to churches to register with the Scottish Bible Society, please? because that will all feed into that project. Thank you.
Thank you. I have notice of a couple of comments, so we're going to turn to the deliverance and we'll receive the report and then we'll move to the comments. So, deliverance, section 1, receive the report. So that's received in the hall and online. We have 2 comments, Muriel Pearson and Peter Davidge.
Thank you, Moderator. Muriel Pearson, 429, Associate Minister in St Andrews, Jerusalem and Tiberias, and Mission Partner in Israel-Palestine. What a wonderful report. What a wonderful song. I was very glad to be able to speak to the Guild online by Zoom. And I just wanted to say thank you to those guilds that are already supportive and interested in our work as mission partners in Israel-Palestine, and to encourage all guilds that they could become friends of St Andrews, Jerusalem and Tiberias as associate members, and that if you go to the Friends of St Andrews, Jerusalem and Tiberias website, you can find ways to do that. And also, I would be very glad if guilds were to receive the partner letters that Stuart and I write. And again, as another speaker has already said, you are so well informed and so interested, and it's such a support and an encouragement to me and to my colleague Stuart in our work. So thank you.
Thank you. Peter Davidge and then Dan Harper.
Thank you, Moderator. Sorry to bring a slightly tangentially negative note to these proceedings. I didn't think it was a wonderful song. And the reason I didn't think it was a wonderful song was because it was AI generated. AI is going to be the silent killer of jobs and opportunities for the next generations coming after us, particularly in the creative industries. If we encourage AI-generated music, we're putting musicians increasingly out of work. I'm quite sure there was surely a young musician who could have come up with a better song rather than an AI-generated whatever. I think it's something the church should be increasingly concerned about and aware about, that AI is going to remove a shelf load of job opportunities from youngsters in Scotland, leaving school now, leaving university now, and as I say, particularly in the creative industries. And the creative industries are sounding a massive note of warning of indulging in AI-generated anything, because each bit of AI generation is taking away a job from a person. God made people creative. He didn't make computers creative. He made people creative. We want to treasure and ensure that we have creative people in the church going forward producing our music, not AI bots. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a comment that we've all heard and will take on board. Thank you. Dan Harper, who I think is online. Dan.
Moderator, convener, thank you. Moderator, as much as AI frightens you, the Guild maybe frighten me, but that doesn't stop me loving them dearly. With a slight note of context that Christina is, as National Convener, is also one of the elders in Bridge of Allen Parish Church, where I have the pleasure to be minister. I'd just like to commend and recommend to the Assembly the Bible for Bairns scheme. It's a fantastic thing that both gives generously and gives spiritually to families and young folk within our country. And I think it's a fabulous thing. The Guild are often at the forefront of what is good and right in the church. And this is a thing that is good and right. So, commissioners, please take it back to your churches. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. A comment from Andrew Morton.
Andrew Morton, 116. Just a very brief word of encouragement. I was at a Guild Union event as moderator of the South West recently, and the convener begged me to go back to my presbytery and encourage parish ministers to involve their guilds, to get their guilds fully involved with their congregations, and to value the contributions the guilds make. So in that spirit, I'd like to offer that same advice to parish ministers at the General Assembly here. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no other requests to speak, so we return to the deliverance. We're on section 2 now. And we have 3 comments to be made. So John Orr, Douglas Hamilton, and Peter Johnston. John.
Moderator, thank you. John Orr, 295. I want to commend this particular part of the deliverance and offer our example locally. When the church I was part of united with our neighbour, it was the Guild who set the example for the Kirk session by coming together earlier to discuss local leadership arrangements and meeting arrangements, and they set a very gracious example for the Kirk session. And since that time, that united Guild has brought a number of projects to our congregation to give us a focus of our work, to be an example in serving our community, and to continue that great work of the Guild that sets a great example and a leadership for congregations, for Kirk sessions, and for the whole church. So I thank them for that, and I would commend their coming together to offer a greater example to local congregations. And in fact, our local guild has grown and is thriving and continues to bring us new opportunities for the whole congregation and neighbouring churches in ecumenical coming together to serve our community. So thank you to the guild, and a huge thank you to our local leadership for their great example and their working in our congregation. So thank you.
Thank you. Douglas Hamilton.
Douglas Hamilton, number 52. I'm going to be a very similar comment to the previous speaker. I'm in the parish of Traprain in East Lothian. I'm a relatively recent union and I'm a relatively new minister, 2.5 years there. Can I just say that it's the Guild that has been the focal point of our union in so many ways. It's the Guild that has brought together the different congregations. They provided a place where people can meet each other, make friendships with each other, serve together, minister together. It's been absolutely key to the success of our union. And I fully endorse this as a really important part of your deliverance, that other people take on board, not just Kirk sessions, but presbyteries, ministers, anyone involved in a union. It has been a fantastic vehicle for the success of our union. And similar to the previous speaker as well, the great thing about us now, and pay testament to our convener, Guild convener Elizabeth Cowan locally, has been the growth of the Guild as a missional part of our church. It is reaching people that are not connected with church in any other shape or form. It is ministering to them, giving them a place to worship, introducing them to Jesus. And it is growing. The last conversation I was having with the Guild convener was because we didn't have enough space anymore in our hall for their tulip tea, strawberry tea, sorry, kind of around that, and we're needing to find a bigger venue. And there is opportunities with the Guild for mission, for unity, and real growth in our churches. So thank you.
Thank you. Peter Johnston seems to have removed himself. I'm assuming there was nothing new to add. So I hope the Guild, wonderful words of commendation, so lovely for you to hear. So we come to approving section 2, approved in the hall and approved online. Section 3, I've got no request to speak, so approved in the hall and online. Section 4. Do we approve? Approved in both places. Section 5. 2 requests to speak. Lizzie Brayshaw and Judith Norton. Lizzie.
Up here.
Up the top. Yeah.
Lizzie Brayshaw, 525. Moderator, last year I spoke in support of the Young Adult Guild's relaunch into Lift because I saw a space being created for Christian young adults at a time when we can often feel very isolated from each other. Somehow, this led to me being part of the steering group, and over the last year, I've had the privilege of seeing how this group has evolved. The convener mentioned in her speech the in-person event last month, which was a real turning point for us. It was full of prayer, planning, laughter, and hope. Going forward, we hope to share this joy with young adults, both in and out with the church. I think it's important that we recognise that if we want to reach out to young adults, we need to provide places for them where they can belong, feel inspired, and be equipped to do mission where they are. If any commissioner has any young adults in their congregation or wants to know more, please do come up and ask about it. All this has been made possible by the Guild, which has supported us throughout the last year, making us feel encouraged and welcomed, both by making the in-person meeting possible and for the prayer and good wishes, which we have been so grateful for. Thank you, Moderator.
Thank you. Just had my batteries changed. You'll maybe notice a difference. Full of vim and vigour now. Judith Norton.
Thank you, Moderator. Judith Norton, number 241. Really just to build on what Lizzie said there, but really as a first-time commissioner, the report assumes knowledge of what Lift is, and it was helpful to hear more information from Christina during her speech. But I just want to encourage the development of this in light particularly of what we heard from Aidan, one of our youth representatives yesterday as well, about the importance of intergenerational connections. I also want to encourage further communication about Lift so it gets down to the grassroots of our congregations so we can all see the great work and get involved in what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. So, we approve section 5. That's a yes in the hall and a yes online. Section 6, we have a comment from Jane Howitt.
Thank you, Moderator. Jane Howitt, number 11. I am no church historian, Moderator, but on a recent trawl of the Church of Scotland website, came across a very interesting historical document listing many of the past projects of the Guild. The list begins in 1969, the year after I was born, when the Guild chose to fund playgroups in local congregations. This is quite early in the playgroup movement and placed the church front and centre of early years ministry. The Guild was trailblazing. The list continues, and it witnesses, as you work your way through it, to the forward thinking of a Guild that in so many ways was consistently ahead of the curve in terms of ministry and focusing ministry in areas that were sorely needed to be drawn to the church's attention. Funding work in areas of great need with a particular heart for the protection, development and encouragement of women and girls right through to those at the other end of their days too. The list comprises many projects at home and abroad. The sums listed are staggering and when added together total several millions of pounds, and that's not even allowing for inflation. I was particularly interested and humbled to see that in 1975, the beneficiary of the Guild project was my current place of work. 50 years ago, the Guild made the bold decision to fund Project Exploration of the Kingdom. It was the provision of a lighted place for quiet and meditation in the chaplaincy at Heriot-Watt University. What strikes me from the list of projects is not only the innovative and proactive approach of the Guild to support key groups and enable a gospel ministry amongst them, but also the longevity of so many of the projects and the impact that they have consistently carried across many years. Later this year, we will celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Guild's gift to tens and thousands of students, many of whom found a home away from home in the chaplaincy, some of whom were first introduced to Jesus there, and others who found their faith nurtured. What a gift you have given to the wider mission of God, and this is just one example of which I have personal experience. Dear Guild, may you be encouraged to continue trailblazing in the extensive ministries that you enable both at home and abroad, in the same way that you have done with early years work, students, 18 to 40-year-olds, and so many other groups. Moderator, may I encourage the Assembly to celebrate and congratulate the Guild, not just for this cluster of projects noted in the deliverance, but indeed for the many millions they have invested in ministry around the world, through which the extravagant love of Jesus has been offered to so many. And thank you, Guild, for piquing my interest to delve a little deeper into the history of our church. Thank you.
That's a very warm commendation indeed for the Guild. So, section 6, do we approve? Approved in both places. Section 7, we have a comment from Alexander Milton. Sorry, Leslie Milton.
Yes. Leslie Milton, 61, minister at St Andrew's High in Musselburgh. Moderator, yesterday I asked for a small addition to the action plans for congregation that we should include in the things that we talk about and have a vision for World Church. And I didn't do that in order to create another loop to jump through, but rather as a recognition and an encouragement to congregations to know that when we engage with the World Church, we become truly who we are in fellowship with people with different experiences, but a common faith. When you ask for something, you also ought to give a pointer as to how it should be done. And that's what I want to do this morning. In a church with contracting resources, contact with the World Church may become more difficult, and I want to pay tribute as I make these remarks to Carol Finlay, who has worked in the church offices to make our connections with the worldwide fellowship of believers so much stronger, and Carol will cease to be a church employee within just the next few weeks. And I know many people in this room will be hugely grateful for the way that Carol has supported their work in World Church, and we'd like to pay tribute to that. And as we do, we realise that that part of our action plan becomes all the more difficult. I also want to say in tribute how enriching the congregations that I have served have found the international projects of the Guild, and how their commitment to seeing the church locally and globally has brought life and energy and a change of perspective to the congregations where I have served. And so the final part of what I have to say is a real encouragement to the Guild to continue that vision of an international community and also to congregations, as we've heard from other speakers. Don't let the work that the Guild does be only for the Guild, but let it stretch out and reach the congregations that we serve to enliven our vision and to deepen our connection with the world church. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leslie. So, section 7, approved in the hall and online. Section 8, approved. We have a new section 9 in the name of Andrew Gardner, and the clerk will read it.
Thank you, Moderator. Rejoice in the life, generosity, Christian witness, inspirational vision and faithful service shown by members of the Guild.
Andrew.
Thank you, Moderator. Andrew Gardner, 284. Moderator, in the penultimate day of this General Assembly, I've been reflecting on what we've been discussing during the week. It's been a sobering assembly, speaking about budget cuts, redundancies, assisted dying, which was a hard debate, life and work, and shedding those tears. Moderator, for 6.5 years of my ministry, working with the amazing folk on the interim ministry, transition ministry team, every placement I've gone to, I have been welcomed warmly by the Guild. This summer, I moved to a more settled ministry in Broughty Ferry, the Côte d'Azur of Scotland, to work alongside my colleague, Lorna Tunstall. There is a subtext to what I'm saying. We have 2 guilds. What is not to like? Let's say more in our deliverances than just commend. Let's say more than just encourage. Let's be extravagant and generous in what we say about the Guild and sing from the hymn sheet that says, "Rejoice in the Lord always." Let's rejoice in the life, the generosity, the Christian witness, inspirational vision and faithful service shown by the Guild.
I don't think anyone is disagreeing, but we better just do it properly. Do we approve the new section 9? Approved in the hall and approved online. I hope you feel really affirmed. I mean, the General Assembly really does value, you've heard it, values you, values the work you do, values the projects. I hope you feel affirmed that you have known the love of this General Assembly for the Guild. Christina, you joined the Guild in Bridge of Allen in 2002 after being invited to go along by a friend. Your colleagues have described you as a bit of a late starter, although your mum had been an active Guild member. Let me tell you, my mum never even joined the Guild because she kept saying I'm not old enough. So, but despite being a late starter, you were one of the younger members in Bridge of Allen, and so were soon put to work, clearing things away at the close of meetings. It was after your retirement as a head teacher in a school for children with special educational needs that you were able to get more involved. Your organisational skills and warm personality soon saw you progress to becoming convener of your own guild, and in time convener of Stirling and Clackmannanshire. You became a member of the National Council, and in 2022 became a national vice-convener. In September of last year, you were installed as the national convener. You have a real passion for those on the margins, and you've encouraged guilds to look beyond the walls of their churches and engage with the communities they serve. Your term as convener will come to an end in September of this year, We thank you for your service and ask God's blessing on you during your remaining time as convener. Thank you. Just before you go, the deliverance as a whole. I thought I'd have got it by now. Have a seat, though, because I'm just going to... So this is a message for everyone. As you climbed the steps from the New College quad and entered the Assembly Hall, those who've been here before may have noticed that there is a new portrait hanging in the black and white corridor. A portrait of a woman. The first portrait of a woman to hang in this place. Her name is Mary Lamond, and her portrait has been moved from the church offices at 121. Mary Lamond was born in Edinburgh in 1862 and was among the first deaconesses in the Church of Scotland, beginning her training in 1890. Described as being ordained in 1894, she became secretary of the Women's Guild in 1905, principal of Deaconess House from 1911 to 1921, president of the Guild from 1920, retiring in 1932. And on that occasion, at a mass meeting in the Usher Hall, she received a cheque for £400, made up by contributions of 1 penny from every guildswoman. Her work for the Guild was obviously much appreciated. Mary Lamond was the only woman to speak at the official Act of Union event in 1929. Described as one of the most distinguished church workers in Scotland, she was noted for her eloquent public speaking, her calm but gracious assertiveness, and her strong sense of humour. Her portrait was painted by Mr. G. Fiddeswatt, R.A., and accepted by the moderator on behalf of the Church of Scotland in 1933. She died in March 1949. So it seems very fitting that her portrait now hangs here. Now, if you go out looking for it, it's actually been taken down. But that's only because they want photos taken and it's too high up the wall for the... You couldn't get everybody gathered round it. It will be put back up later today. An amazing guildwoman, and you are all amazing guilds people. So we thank you once again. Thank you.